guys, it is Tanya and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we are building a student share house in the world of Britechester. Some of you guys might recognize this build because it was one that we did over on Twitch, and this was a build we did to celebrate 5,000 followers over on Twitch because I really wanted to celebrate that. That's a really cool milestone. And so what we did was I let chat pick everything about this build. I put polls up for every single decision, from which world we built in to what we were building, how many bedrooms there were, what style we were building in, interior, exterior styles, whether or not we had a birdhouse on the kitchen counter. There was a lot of fantastic decisions, and if you're interested in that kind of time hanging out, chatting, helping decide builds and all of that kind of stuff, I would suggest you should come check out my Twitch channel. We stream 3 or 4 times a week, and it's really fun to hang out with you guys and build stuff, and sometimes stuff like this happens. So I will have a link in the description down below to where you can find my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Miss Gryphi. I'd love to have you join us. But for today, we are building a student share house voted by chat, and it is kind of a more old style on the outside to match the areas around Britechester. We are on the Britechester side of the world of Britechester University, not Foxbury Institute, and we wanted the outside to be a little bit more traditional in the scope of what this world looks like, but have a little bit of modern touches. So there are a few of the big Moschino windows and pop-outs around the place, and we voted on a pool. Also, it was voted that we needed to have 4 bedrooms. I gave you guys the options of 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you guys picked 4. So this took me a really long time to do, but I thought it was a lot of fun trying to imagine the different students that could live here. But first, we're going to be working on the kitchen here, in the interior decoration style you guys voted on in my Twitch chat was mid-century modern, and we even voted on the colors of the cabinets here, so you'll see me switching them out momentarily, or these countertops I should say, and it just evolves over time. Anything I was like, what should we do here? It was a vote. So that's that. I also, because this is student living accommodations, you can't have a stove, which I still think is really silly. And you should be able to have a stove. The school I went to, I didn't live on campus, but I knew a lot of people that did. And a lot of them had full kitchens. Like, if you had a kitchen, there was a stove in it. If you didn't have a kitchen, there was no stove. But like the dorms that had kitchen spaces had stoves. So I don't understand why The Sims doesn't let you. But because of that, there's no stove in here, but there is a microwave, a coffee pot. I think that's a popcorn machine, a full-size fridge, and a sink. So it has everything you could need other than a stove, so sorry about that. But I guess if you wanted to play as this as a regular house, you could just add a stove. But we just added a birdhouse on the counter. If you guys watched one of my other builds recently, I think it was the eclectic tiny house. Yeah, I think so. That was another one that I had done over on Twitch, and I jokingly put a birdhouse on the counter. And then I was like, yeah, everyone has a birdhouse on the kitchen counter. And I was just completely joking. But then chat was like, oh, I actually do. So then I talked about that in that speed build as well. And then everyone was like, I have a birdhouse on the counter. So then when we were doing this build, everyone in chat was like, you should put a birdhouse on the counter. And then we voted on it, and everyone said that I needed to put a birdhouse on the counter. So sorry about that. I hopefully won't have too many builds in the future with birdhouses on the counter, but it might just be a new thing here, and I guess I'm gonna have to be okay with that. But this is the living space. It's very small. It's in this awkward nook right over by the kitchen. I really wanted this space to feel open but kind of small at the same time. There was a very particular style I was imagining, and I think the vote for mid-century really helped bring the interior of this home together. So I decided to use the new TV that came with Eco Lifestyle in here. It's the older style one. It's modeled after the one from The Sims 1, and I thought it was something I could imagine specifically because, I went to university, maybe them finding in like a Goodwill or out by a dumpster somewhere and being like, sweet, free TV, and bring it in, because this is just where they're living during schooling. Granted, it is a nice accommodation. I've seen some very not nice dorms And I feel like this one is on the nicer side, but I also was talking to some other people about, dorm living and converted buildings like this that are more like share houses for school now. And even when they're on the nicer side, some of them are really, really affordable. So I felt okay about that. But this one is, I don't know, because I don't remember from the little bit of university gameplay I have done in the game. Does the price of where you're staying impact how much you're paying for school? It makes sense that it would. I just don't know if it does in the game, because I know you can take out loans to pay for your schooling, but does like the regular dorm rooms versus off-campus stuff cost different? I'm not entirely sure, but this lot came in to be at 102,681 simoleons, and it is placed on the Darkwing House lot on the not the Brindleton Bay, what am I saying? On the Britechester University side of campus. But I'm completely talking over our first dorm room. This is a shared room between a biology student and a like chef or pastry student. And so we're on the biology side. We went real heavy on like plants and animals. So we have a little froggy over here, lots of books, lots of plants, and a couple of those framed feathers from cats and dogs as well. And then I put the one desk for this room over here, some pictures on the wall, and I think just a rug. I don't think I added too much more over on that side, but we're getting to the other side of the room. Oh yeah, I added a fishbowl, even though fish bowls are not great because I think from my small knowledge of fish, I grew up with a lot of fish. Fish bowls is not the way to go. You need them to be in big enough tanks with like proper filtration, and yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much on a rant because I'm not incredibly knowledgeable on that. Like I could rant here all about, rabbit care, but I only know a little bit about fish because I wasn't the one taking care of them growing up. I just, got some of the information from my parents. But anyway, we're talking about fish care. I don't know what happens in these voiceovers sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, for the third time in a row, this is the pastry chef side of the dorm room. They are sharing space. We do have a knife rack in here, which I wouldn't, or not a knife rack, a knife block. I wouldn't have thought to add that, but somebody in chat was like, "Hey, I went to school for this. It's pretty normal. You're required to bring your own knives." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll put that in the dorm." I just didn't want to put it over the bed, even though in the Sims it would be fine, no big deal whatsoever. But in real life, imagine your knife block falling on you in the middle of the night. Ow. But it's fine. That's not going to happen. You're all good. No worries on that. But I did add a spice rack in here as well as a cookie jar right next to the bed. Some cutting boards. I don't know why that took me so many tries to say. I'm like, cooking. This is for somebody who likes to cook. But anyway, this is the next dorm room. This one is a single. We just did a double, but this one is for a photographer. The furniture is a little bit worn down, specifically this bed from Eco Lifestyle, and everything's kind of pushed to the side. I do imagine that this is a student that spends all of their money on their camera equipment. That's the most important thing to them, and they're fine with the hand-me-down bed or one they found outside somewhere, and there's very minimal furnishings in this room. It's just all camera equipment and some of their photography work on the walls. So that's the idea I had for this room. It's a little bit more on the simpler side compared to some of the others, but I think the Moschino pack came in very handy for this particular dorm room. I used a bunch of these pictures. The turtle one is from Island Living. You can get those photos when you go scuba diving, I believe. And then there's a couple of the university campuses I put up, as well as that photo frame that you can add your own pictures to that came with the Moschino stuff pack. And then we are in to our next double room, which is this stuff. This isn't the final room. We have one more after this. This is the final double room, though. And this one is shared between somebody who's going to school to become a vet and another student who is a theater kid. So that was the idea there. We voted on, like I said, every single major that was in this house, who was sharing rooms with who. And I think this was kind of a fun combo, and I think doing a vet room is so easy because that's actually a career in the game, and we have all the vet posters. So I was like, this is perfect. You're learning about the different species, the different care, being real pro, like adopt, don't shop. You know, that's going to be easy. I was like, I don't know how to decorate for a theater kid, but luckily chat was like, you should add these things. And that helped quite a bit. So the vet side of the room has this dark blue bed cover, and then theater kid has a little bit more of a colorful color scheme. I don't know what the actual title would be, because everyone was like, do a theater kid, but I'm gonna look it up. What is the degree for theater? Is it theater arts? There's theater for young audiences. There's just theater degrees. I don't know what they're called. Let me know if you were a theater major. Did you just major in theater? Was there a specific section of that? I just really don't know anything about it. So I don't feel comfortable being like, this is what this is called, because I've never really participated in any of that. When I was a kid, through like my daycare and stuff, I did a lot of theater type things, but in schooling I never participated because I'm too awkward for that. But let me know, because I would like to know. But that's what that room was, and we are into our final bedroom now, which this one is for an astronomy student. Let me make sure I got that right, because I got it wrong in chat. I was talking about astronomy, which is the natural science that studies celestial objects and phenomena, all of that. But I accidentally said astrology, which is a very different thing. So this is for an astronomy student. So we have lots of like space themed stuff all around. The bed from Parenthood was absolutely perfect for this because it's got planets on it. And I used a lot of the telescope pictures that came with, I think they're from base game. Although some of these might be from Get to Work, because that's what added like aliens and stuff and the scientist career. I'm not entirely sure, but I had fun decorating this room with all these space themed items. I mean, I actually got to use the picture of that sim who is riding a rocket ship right above the computer desk. I don't often get to use that painting, and it's an interesting one. I believe it was used in one of the earlier Sims 4 trailers as something that can make you a little bit flirty. So I definitely associate it that way. But this is the front section of, like, the front left section of the house. We had this open space here, and I was thinking it would be good as a studying area. I automatically was like, you know, this could be a cool art spot. And a lot of people in chat were saying that as well. And then I was like, we don't have an artist in this dorm. That doesn't make any sense. So we switched it out for a reading space and like a desk space to do homework and stuff at. It's pretty simple. And then in the hallway here, I just wanted a table and a runner rug and, of course, some curtains and a little mirror to check yourself out before you head out. Just getting a pathway up to the door and finishing up some landscaping, and I think that's pretty much it. This was a really fun build to do on stream, and I'm glad I could share it here as well. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Make sure, if you're interested, to come follow me over on Twitch, hang out for some builds, or if you'd like to see live this whole decision process happen for this specific build, see the full live stream. I have those uploaded on my second channel here on YouTube called More Gryphi. I will have that link down below as well. But we're coming to the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.